And fighting in Australia was a very hard spot, I think, for Islam. So for me, with this one, I think I'm going to pick Islam in this fight to win it. And if it goes to the ground, I think it'll be a finish.
Started doing things a little bit differently. And him working with Jack Della Maddalena, you know, he's escaping differently, different from the traditional way that everybody else has been doing it.
Incredible. So I definitely can get a finish. All right, favorite. Islam's great. Him moving up, I still think he's a nightmare for a lot of the people in the division, but I think JDM can do it.
So here we go. UFC experts are dropping some bold predictions ahead of Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena, and you would be curious to know. Let's take a closer look at what the top fighters, coaches, and analysts are saying ahead of this massive showdown. First of all, we have Belal Muhammad, a man who shared the cage with Jack Della Maddalena and trained alongside Islam Makhachev. He broke down this matchup from a fighter's perspective. Belal believes that if Islam drags this fight to the canvas, it could turn into a nightmare for Jack. He praised Islam's top control and described his grappling as next level, saying once Makhachev gets dominant position, there's rarely a way out. Belal also noted that Jack sometimes leaves small openings when defending on the ground, the kind of mistakes a technician like Islam will capitalize on instantly.
Islam versus Jack, for me, breaking down this fight stylistically, obviously trained with Islam, fought Jack. It's going to come down to if it hits the ground. If it hits the ground for Islam, I think his top game is going to be really good. He's very smart, very controlled, doesn't let you off the hook when you make a mistake. Jack makes mistakes on the ground. He uses it to scramble. He has good scrambling ability. He has moments where he's like lapses safety, right? He'll give up his back, he'll give up his neck, he'll give up an arm triangle. And you can't do that with Islam. Islam's going to see that and he's going to exploit it. I think if Islam comes out wrestling right away and forcing that takedown right away, making that work, it's going to be a long night for Jack.
In his eyes, Islam's relentless pressure and wrestling could make this a much tougher night for JDM than many expect. Belal also reflected on his own time inside the cage with Jack, admitting that JDM's stand-up is sharp, polished, and hard to deal with. He said Jack won't be easy to break, but against someone like Islam, positioning will decide everything. Belal warned that Jack can't afford to get trapped against the fence because that's exactly where Islam does his best work. Once Makhachev pins you there, the takedown usually follows, and from that point on, things can get ugly fast. Belal also drew comparisons between Jack Della Maddalena and Alexander Volkanovski, noting key differences in their styles. He explained that Volkanovski is shorter and far more explosive, while Jack relies on longer, more calculated strikes, a rhythm that could actually favor Islam. According to Belal, if JDM extends those exchanges, he's giving Islam the perfect window to shoot and take control. He believes Jack's best chance lies in keeping it clean and compact. But if the fight does hit the mat, Islam's control and pressure could easily lead to a finish.
Jack is longer, so he's going to have a longer torso for Islam to control, a longer torso for him to get on top of. Volkanovski made those spots harder because he's very short, he's very hard to read. Even with the striking, he's like a little bit more faster with his combinations. Jack does longer combinations, but I think Volkanovski is more explosive. And like I said, it's always harder to fight shorter guys. And fighting in Australia was a very hard spot, I think, for Islam. So for me, with this one, I think I'm going to pick Islam in this fight to win it. And if it goes to the ground, I think it'll be a finish.
Merab Dvalishvili also weighed in on the matchup, admitting this won't be an easy night for Islam. Still, he's confident the Dagestani camp will rise to the occasion like he always does. Merab called it a tough but manageable test, pointing out that Islam's wrestling, timing, and fight IQ make him one of the hardest puzzles to solve in the UFC.
You mentioned Islam. He's moving up to 170. Do you think that he gets the job done and wins that title, or do you think JDM retains?
It's gonna be hard for him, but it's possible to Islam Makhachev wins the second belt. JDM is great fighter, great striker, but Islam is tricky. He has a good wrestling, and he's southpaw. He don't get hits, but he takes people down and he mauls people down.
He also mentioned that Islam will likely study Jack's fight with Belal Muhammad and make all the right adjustments. Even so, Merab warned that the danger is real. Jack's explosive hands, sharp movement, and calmness under fire make him a legitimate threat. It's that balance of skill and danger that has so many analysts split on how this fight could actually play out.
So, and also we all see the JDM Belal Muhammad's fight, and then I'm sure Islam will take lots of lessons from this fight, and maybe Islam will make some adjustment. It's possible, it's gonna be hard, but Islam can win the second belt.
On the other side, Ilia Topuria dropped one of his boldest takes yet, claiming Islam Makhachev won't even make it past Jack Della Maddalena and might end up hurting Sheep back in Dagestan. When asked if he'd consider fighting Islam next, assuming Makhachev beats JDM, Topuria didn't hold back. Instead of a polite answer, he went straight for the verbal knockout, saying Jack would humble Islam so badly, he'd be running back home.
ისლამის დამარცხების შემთხვევაში დამარცხებულ ისლამთან გირჩევნია თქვა შემდეგი ბრძოლა თუ პირობითად გამარჯვებულ ცარუკიენთან.
მოკლედ ვერ გავიხსენე სიტყვა, მაგრამ ისლამი თუ დამარცხდა, დაბრუნდეს დაღესტანში, თავის ფერმაში. თუ მოიგო კიდე, წყალსა ხო? ხო, ზღვარი მომწყესოს.
Meanwhile, Demetrius Johnson offered his own in-depth take in the matchup, praising Jack Della Maddalena's evolving skill set, especially after his performance against Belal Muhammad, where DJ saw him as a real dark horse. Johnson highlighted how Jack's crisp technical approach turned what many expected to be a cautious fight into a full-blown showcase. With elite minds like Craig Jones and Alexander Volkanovski in his corner helping him prepare for Islam's grappling, Johnson made it clear this one isn't a one-way fight. In his view, it could unfold in two very different ways: a slow strategic chess match or an explosive war that steals the show.
Being able to finish him and just out-jab him. A lot of people said that fight was going to be boring. It turned out to be a banger fight. For him to take on a guy like Islam Makhachev, not steering away from that challenge. Islam is coming up, so he's going to be, I feel like comparably size-wise, they're going to be about even, Islam's super good. JDM's got Craig Jones in the camp to, battle. And Volkanovski to battle that, Dagestan wrestling. It's going to be, it could be two things. It could be a very, very boring fight, or it could be a very, very exciting fight. Meaning by the way it could be boring is if Islam's able to take down JDM and get his back, hold him there.
Johnson also pointed out that things could get very interesting if Islam manages to take Jack Della Maddalena to the mat and impose his trademark grappling. He agreed that Islam has all the tools to dominate there, but warned that JDM won't be easy to handle. According to DJ, Jack's movement is unpredictable, his style constantly adapting and flowing with the fight, and he even mentioned JDM's performances against Gilbert Burns, where he stayed calm under pressure and showed world-class technique. That composure, Johnson said, is exactly what makes Maddalena such a dangerous challenge for Islam Makhachev.
Out-grapple him, stifle him. He could potentially do that, but the one thing I love about JDM when he fights is he never accepts the position. When he was fighting Gilbert Burns, great grappler, takes him down. Right when he gets up, he throws that knee into the void. Gilbert Burns ducks down into it. He runs into it. JDM doesn't accept the position when he gets taken down. He's always looking to grapple, always looking to anti-wrestle. That's what makes this fight exciting. And he's got some fucking good hands. He's not the way his boxing is, he's very tight. I'm excited for that fight just because we're seeing the best at 155 take on the best at 170. It's very rare when the moons align. Same thing at the co-main event.
Then came MMA Guru's take, calling this matchup one of his personal favorites, while making it clear he's fully backing Jack Della Maddalena. He mentioned he's followed JDM since the early regional days, even telling fans to go back and watch those old fights that, in his words, some of the nastiest knockouts in MMA history. Guru believes this fight will be no different, confident that Jack's striking, composure, and killer instinct will once again carry him to victory.
If you haven't seen it, go and watch back Jack Della Maddalena's regional KOs. Some of the nastiest KOs you'll see. He was destroying people on the regional scene. Started 0-2 in his career, went 10-2. After that, 10-fight win streak. And then since has been on a crazy win streak. I think he's on like a 17, 18-fight win streak now in his career. All the way through to UFC as well. I've picked him in every fight, and I'm going to pick him to beat Makhachev as well. Little spoiler for my own prediction video. But my take on this fight is amazing matchup.
Charles Oliveira also shook up the MMA world with his bold prediction, saying Islam Makhachev won't even spend a second trading shots with Jack Della Maddalena. According to Oliveira, Islam will waste no time taking the fight to the ground and dominating from there. The former UFC champ's words sparked instant debate, showing just how unpredictable this matchup really is. And having experienced Makhachev's ground control firsthand, when Oliveira says wrestling will be the key, fans know that's coming from real experience, not just talk. Oliveira kept his prediction simple. Having shared the octagon with Makhachev, he knows exactly how overwhelming the Dagestani pressure can be. In his view, Maddalena's striking won't be enough to change the story because this fight, like so many of Islam's, will come down to control, pressure, and relentless takedowns. For Oliveira, there is no need for a new game plan. Makhachev just has to stick to the blueprint that's always worked.
O que você acha que ganha entre o Jack Della Maddalena e o Islam?
Maddalena, ele é um jogo muito complicado, porque ele é um cara que ele não vem pra te nocautear rápido, ele vem pra te finalizar, ele vem te magoando, né?
Aos poucos, né?
Aos poucos. É o que ele fez agora na luta contra o Bilal.
Oliveira did give Jack credit for his sharp boxing, slick movement, and dangerous early power, but he doesn't think it will last once Islam closes the distance. In his eyes, the moment Makhachev gets his hands on Jack, the entire momentum flips. And coming from someone who's felt that pressure firsthand, Oliveira's confidence has fans wondering, can Maddalena really stop this fight from turning into Makhachev's kind of war?
Só que eu acho que o Isla vai se dar muito bem nessa categoria, né, mano? Agora vai estar muito mais forte, é um jogo que, tipo, ele gosta de agarrar e botar pra baixo. Eu acho que o Jack Maddalena fazia a mesma luta que ele fez, né, agora contra o Bilal, batendo, movimentando, saindo, machucando, é uma luta, mas se deixar o Isla agarrar e botar pra baixo é o time.
Adding to this, Beneil Dariush shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena. He said that at first he leaned toward Islam, but now he slightly favors JDM because of his size and strong cardio. Dariush explained that it is a close fight and hard to predict, but he feels JDM's pace and power might give him the edge.
You and I spoke last time about Islam versus JDM. Now only weeks away. Do you still favor Islam in that matchup?
I'm gonna lean now towards JDM.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like the size will make a difference. Cardio-wise, JDM has great cardio. Maybe I'm wrong, but now this is all feel. This is one of the few fights where I can't really give you a clear answer. So I just feel like JDM.
Dariush added that Jack's gas tank is elite. He thrives when the fight turns into a fast-paced brawl. While he praised Makhachev's technical mastery and suffocating grappling, he admitted there's something about JDM that makes an upset feel very real. It was a bold prediction, one that instantly split opinions, and Dariush wasn't the only one thinking along those lines.
He's a big guy. I think he's going to fill into that weight. He's a really big 155er. So I think his lifestyle outside of training camp is going to be a little more comfortable, and he'll fill into that weight class no problem. He could be champion there for sure.
How do you think he does against JDM?
I think the beginning of the fight's going to tell the story, like how well JDM does at getting up, how well JDM does at keeping Islam off of his feet, off of his legs, off of the cage. It's tough to call that because JDM's a big guy, athletic. I'm excited about that. A lot of fun fights in the future.
It's not Dariush making bold calls. Umar Nurmagomedov has doubled down as well. He predicts Islam will dominate once again, saying his teammate is in peak form, sharper than ever, and ready for anything that comes his way. According to Umar, Islam's strategic mindset and versatility make him the clear favorite to keep the belt right where it is.
Islam in amazing shape, and this guy very smart fighter, and you know I'm his fan, and he have he don't have just one plan for fight, and he have plan A, B, C, and like all alphabet, D, E, A, everything, like if something not he couldn't do, he gonna try other one not good, he have next plan, and he's amazing fighter, and he's amazing friend, brother, and I think he will take this belt. I think he deserves.
Umar Nurmagomedov also spoke about Islam's physical evolution, revealing that the move up to welterweight wasn't easy at first, but the results speak for themselves now. He believes Makhachev has added that real size, strength and speed, becoming more explosive than ever before, but at this point, Umar says Islam isn't just ready for battle, he's built for it.
He looks very good now. Do you think he's like very built well for welterweight?
Yes, he become a bigger, now we have more power, more than ever, and I think he's ready.
Adding to the mix, Luke Rockhold shared his take on the matchup. He admitted that Jack Della Maddalena won't be able to match Islam's wrestling, but still sees him as a real threat. According to Rockhold, even with a clear gap on the ground, Jack's toughness, striking, and composure could still make things dangerous for Makhachev.
Do you see him beating JDM to win that welterweight title?
That's a tough fight. That's a very tough fight. It's going to be interesting. I think those are my three favorite fighters in the UFC right now. We go Islam, Topuria, and JDM. JDM's he's fun to watch. So that's going to be a great fight. He's no slouch at wrestling, but you have a guy that's wrestled his whole life and grappled his whole life versus JDM, who's kind of like he's secondary on that. But you never know. He's a bigger guy. So, we'll see how Islam, how he bulks up and how he looks. He looks a lot bigger than what I remember. I used to train with him forever. So, he's definitely grown. We'll see how he carries the weight.
Dan Hardy, who studied both fighters extensively, brought a more technical breakdown to the table. A longtime admirer of JDM's striking, Hardy believes the real X factor here is Makhachev's move to welterweight. In his view, Islam is entering the division at the perfect time, no more brutal weight cuts, and finally be able to showcase his full physical potential. Hardy predicts this could be the strongest, most dangerous version of Islam Makhachev we've ever seen.
Man, I've been high on JDM for a long time. I remember doing interviews back when Ngannou was crossing over to boxing, and people were talking about who's got the best hands in MMA, and I was saying JDM at the time. His boxing's always impressed me. But at this point, I feel like Islam's moving up a weight class at the right time. There are a lot of fighters that stay in a weight class for too long, and they seem to kind of stifle their physical growth. I don't think Islam can stay healthy and stay in that lightweight division for any longer, and I think right now he's allowed himself to move into a division where his body's just going to grow into it. He's going to be incredibly powerful. I've been having the similar kind of conversation in my head with Crawford coming up against Canelo as well, you know what I mean? Like, what's Crawford going to look like going up a weight? And I think his body's ready to do it, same as Islam. And I just think Islam's all-round game is so problematic for any single fighter. I see him taking it, and I can see him probably a 50-50 striking exchange, Makhachev winning with a kicking advantage, but then he's grappling and his wrestling taking over, probably winning by sub in the championship rounds.
Still, the debate doesn't end there. Robert Whittaker, a man who knows what it's like to compete at the highest level, believes Jack Della Maddalena brings something special you just can't teach. He points to Jack's grit, endurance, and non-stop pace as potential game changers. While Whittaker expects Islam to lean on his kicks and wrestling, he warns that even the smallest mistakes could flip the fight in an instant.
I'm going to go Jack. I think he has the gut, the grit, the determination to fight the takedown attacks that Islam is going to go for. And I think in a striking fight, straight up, Jack is better. I think he wins in the hand. I don't think Islam is going to be as gun-ho with the takedowns as everybody believes, because Jack has that level of offense off his back. Jack has nothing to lose. And I think Islam's got everything. He's the hottest prospect right now in MMA.
Sean Brady added his own twist to the conversation, admitting he's personally rooting for Islam, mostly because he hopes to face him down the line, but when breaking it down purely from an analytical standpoint, Brady's pick is Jack Della Maddalena. He recognizes Makhachev's dominance, but believes JDM's confidence, composure, and all-around game make him a serious problem. To Brady, this feels like the perfect dangerous underdog story.
Selfishly for me, I would want Islam to win because I want to fight Islam as for a legacy thing. And I think I can beat Islam. I think I can beat anybody in the world. And I want to grapple. I want my grappling to go against his grappling and see who's better. I really would love for that to play out. But if I had to pick, and I know Jack would be the underdog, I would pick Jack.
Even Daniel Cormier, usually quick to back his Dagestani teammates, offered a surprisingly balanced take. He's acknowledged Islam's added size and power as major advantages, but warned that Jack's toughness and sharp defense could make this fight far more competitive than people expect.
Islam. He's a much better striker than people give him credit for. He won all the rounds against Dustin Poirier in a fight that was pretty much all striking. Everybody's like, well, Dustin Poirier fought him so well, but he didn't. It was literally 5 rounds to 0 and he got submitted.
It's almost like Poirier got his licks, but he got dominated.
He got beat. Because Islam's been so good, people judge him differently. I think there are way more interesting fights for him at 170 because of the size difference than there is at 155. Because right now, when was the last time he had to finish someone? He finished Charles for the belt.
Volk.
He fought Volk. That was close. Didn't finish him. And the second time
Volk.
he finished Volk.
Second time, finished Moicano.
Finished Moicano. Finished Dustin Poirier. He beats them all because they're too small.
Meanwhile, Michael Bisping didn't mince words, admitting he's surprised by how heavily the odds lean toward Islam. He argued labeling Makhachev a runway favorite overlooks Jack Della Maddalena's momentum and consistency. Bisping highlighted Jack's 18-fight win streak and his dominant showcasing against Belal Muhammad as proof that the Australian has evolved into a true world-class contender.
It's an interesting fight because the crazy thing is that Islam Makhachev is quite a sizable favorite according to DraftKings, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure I saw that online earlier this morning. And I think that's a little bit disrespectful to Jack Della Maddalena. The man's on an 18-fight winning streak. He just beat Belal Muhammad. He defended all the takedowns there. He's beaten grapplers before in the past. Yes, Islam Makhachev is incredible, and he'd be another contender for pound #1, greatest of all time, whatever you want to call it. But Belal Muhammad was a perfect warm-up fight for Islam Makhachev.
Colby Covington also offered a measured take in the matchup. He admitted that Islam might be undersized moving up from lightweight, but believes his complete skill set more than makes up for it. While acknowledging JDM's size and punching power as legitimate threats, Covington still leaned toward Makhachev, crediting his control, composure, and fight IQ.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. I'm excited to see how it goes. Islam, is a lightweight. He's going to be a little smaller in the fight, but he's a well-rounded fighter. So, if he's able to take down JDM and control him, he could definitely get the job done. But it's going to be interesting to see how the size advantage plays a difference in the fight.
Not everyone is counting JDM out. Alexander Volkanovski, who's felt Makhachev's strength firsthand, is backing his fellow Australian. He believes Jack's striking, forward pressure, and vastly improved takedown defense have reached a new level since the Belal Muhammad fight. To Volkanovski, that bout marked a turning point, the moment JDM evolved into a more complete, composed fighter who now understands exactly how to deal with elite grapplers.
I mean, you can't doubt him. Look, he's a welterweight, and you've got Belal, who's a grappler, wrestler. Look how he handled that, and then he's a beast on the feet. And then he's early, and I guarantee you from that fight, his confidence in grappling and takedown defense has just gone to a whole nother level. So he's going to be an absolute nightmare. So it'll be good. I'm hoping to get some training with him for this one as well. But we'll tee something up for sure. But JDM, mate, he's a weapon. So I know that Islam's not taking this one lightly. So and he shouldn't.
Do you believe he might be able to stop Islam going up to this weight class?
Stop him now. Look, JDM's boxing and pressure that he can do, incredible. So I definitely can get a finish.
All right, favorite team?
Islam's great. Him moving up, I still think he's a nightmare for a lot of the people in the division, but I think JDM can do it.
Jack Della Maddalena's head coach also weighed in, making it clear that his fighter's mindset is exactly where it needs to be. He said Jack isn't just ready, he's dialed in. The focus throughout the camp has been laser sharp, endless drills to perfect takedown defense, refining striking angles, and make sure every exchange plays to Jack's strengths. According to the coach, they're not preparing to survive Makhachev, they're preparing to beat him.
Big respect coming from Islam's team going into this one, and Khabib even acknowledged that he started following JDM a while back, knowing that potentially he'd be fighting Islam.
They've got to this level because they know the sport and they know the game, and Islam and his team have the utmost respect for Jack, as we do for them. Islam is a phenomenal fighter. He's pound for pound #1 in the world. He's made light work of just about everybody that's ever gone before him. The respect is mutual, and Jack's always asked me for the toughest fights he can possibly have. Jack does better the higher up of the standard is. He raises his game to the level that he's fighting against, and I really believe that everyone's going to see the best version of Jack.
Former UFC fighter and respected coach Dean Thomas also shared his thoughts, suggesting that Jack Della Maddalena's biggest advantage might come from his partnership with jiu-jitsu wizard Craig Jones. Jones, who helped Volkanovski nearly dethrone Makhachev, has once again been instrumental in Jack's preparation, just as he was before the Belal Muhammad fight. Thomas believes that expertise could be the difference maker, allowing Jack to neutralize Islam's grappling and keep the fight on the feet.
You know, Craig Jones is an amazing jiu-jitsu player, and he's a really smart guy.
Yeah.
And he's been able to figure out things and just be more forward thinking. And he said, I was listening to something that he said recently about how everybody does the same thing. And this is something I've been saying for years. Like, we've learned in these last couple of years, we've gotten so far away from jiu-jitsu that we've learned how to do jiu-jitsu from wrestlers. And it hasn't been working out because it just turns into kind of like a wrestling match. But when Craig Jones came in and started working with them Australian guys, they started doing things a little bit differently. And him working with Jack Della Maddalena, you know, he's escaping different from the traditional way that everybody else has been doing it.
And with that, the stage is set for one of the most unpredictable showdowns in recent UFC history. Experts are split, fighters are picking sides, and fans can't stop debating. Will Islam Makhachev's pressure and grappling dominance continue, or will Jack Della Maddalena shock the world with his striking brilliance? One thing's for sure, when that octagon door closes, we're in for something special. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Boxism for more fight previews, expert takes, and all the drama leading up to fight night. Drop your predictions in the comments. Makhachev or Maddalena? Who takes it?